Did you know that we have channel memberships now? If you'd like to help support this channel, get some exclusive Kowabana emotes to use in the comments, as well as an exclusive badge by your name, click that join button now to find out more. Every bit of support really helps. Thanks guys. The Zombie Nurse. Also sometimes known as the Demon in White. It might seem rather broad, but there's a particular tale told about this undead nurse that has been popular since at least the 1970s, although the original story goes even further back than that. Ironically, you won't find this nurse in a hospital, but rather a school, and she's definitely not someone you want to run into after hours. As the story goes, a young boy realized that he had forgotten something important at school. So, he went back when it was dark to retrieve it. With a torch in hand, he found his way through the dark school to his classroom, there grabbing what he had forgotten. With that in hand, he walks out into the hall and can hear something in the distance. It sounds like wheels rolling across the floor, and although he can't see it, it's definitely getting closer. Frozen in fear, the source of the terrifying sound suddenly comes into view. There's a nurse wearing a dirty white coat, and she's pushing a trolley full of medical equipment. Her skin is pale, and she looks just like a zombie. But the most creepy thing of all is the horrifying glare she gives him when she spots him. The boy takes off running, but it's no use. She chases him down with incredible speed, still pushing the trolley. At a loss for what to do, the boy ducks into the nearest toilets and then hides in one of the stalls. Holding his breath, he can hear the wheels of the trolley slowly approaching, and then finally, they stop outside. Then, one by one, he hears the doors in the toilet opening. Not here. Not here. It appears the nurse is looking for him, and the sound of the opening doors and her voice is getting closer and closer. Then, she reaches out for the door he's hiding behind, and the door furiously rattles. She's trying to get in. The boy is so scared that he finally passes out. When he comes back to, it appears that quite a bit of time has passed. It's now bright. He presses his ear to the door, listening to see if the dreaded zombie nurse is still lurking on the other side. Yet, he hears nothing. Sighing in relief, he tries to open the door to leave, but it won't move. He rattles the doorknob a few more times, but still nothing. He then looks up and realizes why. The nurse is still there, and has been there all this time, looking down over the top of the toilet door at him inside. This is a fairly standard scary story these days, and you've no doubt heard endless variations. The zombie nurse is believed to be one of the first to use this searching the toilets and then waiting at the top of the door until noticed trope, however, but even this story itself isn't without variations. Sometimes, you might find the zombie nurse pushing a wheelchair rather than a trolley full of medical equipment. And sometimes, that wheelchair might even have her previous victim sitting in it. Or it might be empty, so that she can push you around in it next. And as for why a nurse is roaming the halls of a school, sometimes it's a school nurse. And sometimes it's because the school itself used to be a hospital. The nurse has been lurking the corridors for many, many decades, even after the purpose of the building changed, looking for new victims to attack. In other versions, you can actually run into her in a hospital and not a school. Her story has been around for so long now that you can find all sorts of variations on it, but two main points always remain the same. The nurse in white that looks like a zombie chases you to the toilets, and when you pass out and wake up, you can see her hanging over the top of the toilet door, looking down on you. Interestingly, it appears that these two particular aspects of the story came from entirely different places. As for the nurse herself, it's believed that her tale can be traced all the way back to a school in Saitama Prefecture during the war. A junior high school there was built in the remains of a weapons factory, and before long, rumours quickly spread through the school that a white ghost could be seen in the toilets. Over time, this white ghost changed into a nurse in white. But that was it. This particular nurse simply appeared in the toilets of this school, built in an old weapons factory, and wasn't known to chase people down the halls, nor did she have a wheelchair or a medical trolley. She simply appeared, like many other ghosts, in the school toilets. This story, however, was picked up by scary storytellers and then appeared in numerous books over the years, coming to be called the Zombie Nurse because of her pale skin and terrifying expression on her face, likely to make her a little more unique and distinctive compared to the many other ghosts of nurses out there. In the book Monster Address Book, published in 1975, we can find a story of this nurse where she's pushing a medical trolley through a school, and it was this version that became popular and spread throughout the country. But what about the part where she's discovered looking down over the top of the toilet door? Arguably the scariest part of the story. Well, it's believed this can be traced back all the way to the Meiji era, to the late 1800s, where a similar story exists. In this version, a man is visiting a shrine when he suddenly runs into a tengu. Naturally, tengu are dangerous and not to be trifled with, so the man runs into the shrine's toilets and locks himself inside. But as he waits in there for the tengu to disappear, time passing ever so slowly, he looks up and then he sees it. The tengu has been staring down at him from above the door all this time. Yet another version has a woman happen upon another woman performing the Hour of the Ox ritual at a shrine. In much the same manner, the woman flees and hides in some nearby toilets. After all, if you spot someone performing this ritual, then that means it will backfire on them. And the only way to stop the curse from turning on yourself is to kill the person who saw you. The woman realizes she has been seen, of course, and follows her into the toilets. In much the same manner as the man and the tengu, the woman seemingly waits in there all night, thinking herself safe because the woman outside hasn't yet come for her. But when morning comes and she finally looks up, she sees that woman looking down at her from above the door. There's no escaping her, and she has nowhere to run. This particular trope of hanging over the top of a toilet door to watch someone all night is naturally terrifying. And at some point, it came to join the nurse that chases people down the hall to create an equally thrilling ending to an already terrifying story. The Zombie Nurse is a great example of a story influenced from numerous places that slowly changed over the years until one particular version became commonplace, generally thanks to appearing in a popular children's horror book, and that's the version that stuck. This nurse generally isn't an actual zombie, no, but her pale skin and terrifying face make her look like one, and it's more unique and memorable than simply the ghost nurse, which could be any story at any hospital anywhere. But the zombie nurse that chases you at school and then watches you from above the toilet door, now that's a nurse you don't forget. But what did you guys think about this one? Do you have any similar stories where you're from? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.